Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Isabella Brave Talk, and happy St. Patrick's Day as you celebrate it. I hope you liked my latest song, I've Gotta Be Me. Well, I've been asked something interesting this time around, if I could please give 3 points of advice to young men on dating, so I'm going to do that, although I think it might help the ladies as well. I feel very sorry for young men these days because I think it is confusing how one ought to treat a young lady, but hopefully being one myself, I can be of some help. Point number 1, remember your manners. Now this is things like opening the door for her, standing when she stands, and if you're out to dinner, for instance, don't eat until she has begun eating. This is something that is very appreciated, even if it seems to go unnoticed and not done much anymore. Number 2, pay kind attention to her. This means things like eye contact, not being a zombie, but eye contact, and listening to what she has to say, asking a question every once in a while. If she asks a question of you, feel free to then, after your answer, ask something of herself. You know, you don't want any one person being this interrogator to the other. And something especially important for ladies is compliments. Now, I've been told recently that I don't want to compliment you in case you think it's insincere, or I don't want to compliment you because you are probably complimented so much. Well, here is when you stop complimenting ladies. When they tell you to. Honestly, we love to be complimented on anything, pretty much. So feel free to express your appreciation of how we look or how we are interested in something that you are as well, or if you think we're nice, or whatever it is. Compliments are always, always great, as long as you mean them, you know. Now, let's see. An additional thing on paying kind attention. I've had a few dates where the young man went on and on and on about himself to the point where I never said much more than a sentence or two. I'm sure they were probably nervous and just ended up rambling a bit. However, it's better energy put to use to pay attention to her and listen and ask questions of her than to go on for too long about yourself. It seems somewhat self-centered and difficult to appreciate. Okay, point 3, finally. Be polite in conversation. Now, what do I mean by this? Specifically, if you have strong political or religious beliefs, this is fine. However, if you feel you must express them in the beginning, which is not advised, but if you feel you must, keep it positive. For instance, if you want to express your political views, feel free to say, I am a whatever, or I feel whatever, and here are some good things about that for me. What isn't good to do is say, you know who I hate is the blanks, because they're this and that and the other. That's really displeasing to people, and the chances that they agree with you are not so great, so you may end up offending someone on a topic that you'd rather not. They can appreciate a difference of opinion, certainly. However, it is not very pleasant to hear someone complaining, especially if that is their only point. And that goes for anything somewhat controversial: politics, religion, current issues and things. Try to keep it as a positive expression or observation instead of a comparative complaint about an opposing one. If you find that any of this advice I've given you is too harsh and you think I'm full of it, feel free to go your own way. However, it is good to follow her lead. I also advise against swearing, although if she's cursing like a sailor, you may find that it's the right time and place to do so yourself. Although, I can tell you that if a lady is cursing and the gentleman does not, that is very admirable and taken into account. So, that's everything. And lastly, I'd just like to add that if you feel that perhaps you've offended her in some way, maybe she has an expression on her face or she's or she seems distracted, it's perfectly all right to say, you know, I'm concerned that I may have offended you somehow or done something wrong. Have I? And this is very nice because if you haven't, she'll think how considerate you are, and if you have, she'll feel the same way, and if she likes, she'll tell you what you've done and chalk it up to a mistake, that we all do mistakes, as opposed to thinking you're boorish and uncaring and writing you off. And it doesn't make you look bad at all. It makes you very brave and confident and careful. That's a good thing to be. So I hope this has helped you somewhat. I look forward to your questions, and may do one of these for the ladies as well, because I think we may need some refreshers and reminders too. I hope you have a nice evening, have a great date, and I'll see you next time. Good night.